In other news from West Asia, Israel has sought the release of 34 hostages in the first stage of ceasefire deal in Gaza.
This as per the Hezbollah-affiliated Al Mayadin news outlet, citing an anonymous Hamas official.
Now, these 34 hostages include all remaining women and children, female IDF soldiers, and the sick and elderly.
Well, according to this report, Israel in return will release an unconfirmed number of Palestinian security prisoners, including some serving life sentences.
The Hamas official tells Al Mayadin that during the first 42-day phase of the ceasefire, Israel will allow increased flow of humanitarian aid to enter the Strip, as well as the equipment needed to repair and rebuild Gaza's hospitals and public facilities.
The official further claims that Israel has also agreed to withdraw from the densely populated areas in the Strip during this phase. He says that while all parties have agreed to reopen the Rafah crossing on the border with Egypt during the first phase, the issue of who will maintain control of the crossing is yet to be resolved.
Meanwhile, Israeli Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi has said that the Israeli army is exerting pressure on Hamas daily, driving it into greater distress to ensure the return of the 100 hostages.
We are dismantling Hamas and targeting its infrastructure and forces so that there will never be another October 7th. We are exerting pressure on Hamas daily, driving it into greater distress to ensure the return of the 100 hostages, hopefully alive, and for those who are not, to provide them a burial in Israel.
Now, the military released video of Halevi visiting forces in the southern Gaza Strip off Rafah on Wednesday. Israel ordered Palestinians to evacuate another section of central Gaza ahead of an offensive in the built-up Bridge refugee camp, even as Israel and Hamas appeared to inch closer to a ceasefire in the 14-month war.
Israeli bombardment and offensives in Gaza have killed more than 45,000 Palestinians during the war, and this is according to the Gaza Health Ministry. The ministry's tally does not distinguish between combatants and civilians, but it says more than half of the dead were women and children.
Furthermore, the United Nations senior expert on torture visited for the first time the southern Israeli kibbutz communities attacked on the 7th of October 2023 to offer support to the families of Israelis abducted by Hamas fighters to the Gaza Strip. The UN Special Rapporteur Alice Jill Edwards said that she has written to the Palestinian Authority about independent and verifiable reports of sexual torture and violence that occurred on the 7th of October. She said she would also speak to Israeli authorities about credible allegations of torture and mistreatment of Palestinians in Israeli detention.
You know, everybody counts, and every life counts, and we should preserve that, and that is the essence of human rights. It's not about you know, picking sides. The side is of human rights and the people's right to live in safety, peace, and security.
According to Israel, Hamas fighters killed some 1,200 people and seized more than 250 hostages, of whom 100 remain captive.